I believe that astrology is here to really help us align with our true story. Have you ever wondered why you came back into this earth? Have you ever wondered why you go through the experiences that you've been through? Have you ever wondered why you are the way that you are? Or why you may not get a certain job, or why you have certain interests that may be different from other people? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. We all have questions. So how can it help? What things can you learn from astrology? It's about understanding who you are, understanding your story, understanding your history, understanding why it is you came back into this realm, and what it is that you need to learn. Astrology helped me when I felt like all was lost. And it helped me to go from low self-esteem to having a high confidence level. It helped me to understand why I do certain things in life. It helped me to like who I am. That's it. I mean, that's the most important thing. It helped me to like me so that I can really go out into the world and not worry about rejection and judgment and fear of not being liked, fear of not getting the job, fear of no one liking what I have to offer. There's so many things that can really help you on this journey of self-mastery and self-discovery and self-realization. But today I want to talk about astrology because it can help you in so many ways. What is the hype all about? How can it help you in life? So what is astrology? Astrology is basically just the relationship between the celestial bodies and us here on earth. It is just a connection between the luminaries, the planets, the orbits, the celestial happenings, and the connection to human existence, to everything, to energy here on earth. There is a belief that what happens in our orbit, in our universe, is also happening within us. It is affecting our personality, how we interact with others, how we view ourselves. It affects our energy, it affects our mood, it affects our attitude. Everything is all connected. When you study astrology, you can look at what specifically was happening at the time of your birth, and also what's progressing right now. But in terms of self-discovery, it's so important to study what was happening at the time of your birth so that you can really understand how it affects you as a being here on earth. I wanted to talk about a few placements that I believe can really help you to love yourself, can help you to really embrace who you are. And obviously we all know about the big three, right? Your sun, your moon, and your rising. But one of the things that I loved when I was studying astrology is understanding the elemental forces that were at play. When I studied my big three and also all the planetary alignments within my chart, the element of fire was very prevalent. The fire energy is one that rules action, it rules passion, it rules expansion, exploration, and independence. When I learned fire ruled my chart, it rules my big three, I was completely shocked because I was not living my life that way. I was very shy, very timid, very small, very reliant on people around me. And so when I learned that fire is ruling my chart, fire is ruling my big three, why am I not embracing this beautiful energy of action, of independence, of this warrior spirit, of expansion, of a higher learning, of all of these things that represents this fire energy? Why am I not embracing it? And when I started to embrace it, things started to unfold in my life. Opportunities started to come. More people started to attract to me. So what I'm saying is, when you study the elements within your chart, what rules your chart, you can start to align and say, oh, okay, let me try this. Let me see if this works. So your elemental influences play a big part in what you can learn about yourself and how it can affect you. So another thing you can learn through astrology is your journey of evolution, and that is mostly signified by your Pluto placement. Pluto represents transformation, it represents depth, hidden messages, mysteries, intensity, power. And so we have to go through transformation, life transformation, in order to embrace these beautiful qualities of Pluto. So you can look at Pluto on your chart. You can look at what house it's in, you can look at what sign it's in, and also where it's orbiting right now in your life, and really get a really beautiful idea of what it is that you will experience in life and what you need to transform in order to become better. So another thing that astrology can teach you is what your basic direction is in life, where you're supposed to go, what is considered your North Star, what is your purpose in life, and that is designated by your North Node. So you can look for your North Node on your chart. You can look at what house it's in, what zodiac sign it's in, and also look at your South Node. So your North Node can tell you a lot about where you're supposed to go, what is your soul's journey this time around. And so when things happen, you can align more to that journey so that you can open yourself up for beautiful opportunities. If we continue to look for that South Node, which is our comfort zone, which is our natural instincts, which probably gives us the most comfort, we can then choose to move in a different direction. We can choose to evolve and grow. And moving on to the next thing is, what is our deepest wound? What is it that we need to heal in this lifetime? And that is signified by many things, but one of the major ones is a placement called Chiron. You can look for your Chiron, and then also, again, look at where it is on your chart. Look at the different aspects. You can look at your zodiac sign, the house it's in, how it's going to affect your life. But this will tell you, this will give you an idea, and hopefully it can resonate with you in terms of what things you are experiencing in life. What is it that you need to heal from in this lifetime in order to really open yourself up for love, life, fulfillment, prosperity, all of these things that can propel your life in a really beautiful way. So far, we've talked about astrology can help you to align with the elemental forces in your chart. It can help you to find your direction in life. It can help you to determine and understand deeply what your wounds are in life and how to move forward and evolve and ascend. And then one more thing, we talked about your evolution in life. What are the major transformational happenings that may occur in your life in order for you to evolve? So those are 4 things that we've already discussed, which are major influences in our life and can really help you to evolve. Some of the other things that astrology can teach you is your career. What things will bring you success? What things will help you to really expand in your career? This is designated by looking at either your 10th house, the ruler of your 10th house, and finding that on your chart. You can also look at your Saturn placement, which rules responsibility, structure, and discipline. You can look at your 2nd house. You can look at your 6th house, which is the house of work habits, your service to others. So there's many different placements, but you can get an overall view of where you would excel within a particular career. Another thing astrology can teach you is to align with your hobbies, your interests, your pleasures in life. So when you look at some things that may bring you pleasure, bring you joy, things that are of interest to you, you can then reevaluate your life and say, okay, am I aligning with these things? Am I doing these things in my life, or am I aligning with something that doesn't even resonate with me, that doesn't make me happy, doesn't bring me joy, doesn't light me up? So this is the evaluation that astrology gives. You can look at it, you can study, you can then compare it to your life and see if you are aligning with it. That's the beauty of my transformation and what I experienced. So astrology helps us to align with our story, which ultimately creates growth, expansion, love for yourself, confidence. So other things that astrology can offer us is understanding your identity. Again, are you aligning with it, or are you taking on someone else's identity? Are you living in fear and not fully expanding in your identity. The sun is a really good placement to understand our identity, also your ascendant, what's in your first house. These placements represent your personality, your character traits, your first impression, what brings you joy, how you identify with certain things, what brings you comfort, and how you shine in the world. So that's a major placement in understanding your identity, because a lot of times we feel stuck. We're so influenced by so many things. We're distracted from our own self. Even something as small as just really studying your sun sign can really give you an idea of how you identify in life. For example, my sun is in my 7th house, the house of partnership. I have studied this greatly because I've realized that I've always been in a relationship or some type of partnership in business or friendship. And what that told me is that I really do enjoy connecting with others. I want to have a mate that I'm connected to, but it also taught me to not lose myself in these relationships, because I've done that as well. It taught me to find my voice in relationships, to still be able to do the things that I enjoy, but nurture my relationships, because that's where I shine. When I connect with other people is what brings me true abundance. It brings me joy and fulfillment, but I had to create that balance to make sure that I wasn't people pleasing, that I wasn't doing things just to make sure someone could stay in my life. Your moon placement. Your moon placement helps you to understand your emotions. It also helps you to understand what brings you security in life. So if you are feeling frustrated, if you are feeling like you're off, like you're not yourself, look to your moon. What is going to give me that security? For example, my moon is in the 9th house. It is in Aries. And whenever I'm feeling a little disconnected from self, you know what I do? I study, I prepare, I expand my world, I go outside, I try new things. And this is all representative of this 9th house energy, which is expansion, higher learning, which is travel, which is philosophy. Whenever I feel a little off, I start reading, I start taking myself out of my immediate environment. I start to connect with my own spiritual practices and expand my mind. That gives me a state of security. So for example, let's say you have a moon in the 5th house, and the 5th house is all about family, children. It's about pleasures. It's about love. It's about affairs. It's about feeling good and joy and creativity. So for those of you who have a moon in the 5th house, use that as your security. Create when you're feeling off, when you're feeling emotional. Do something that you enjoy. Do something that brings you pleasure and makes you feel good. Connect with people. Connect with others. If you have children, connect with them. Maybe volunteer at a shelter. You know what I mean? These are just little nuggets, little things that can really help you as you continue to study astrology and ultimately study yourself. So that's just a few things that astrology can offer. We talked about your evolution, your life path. We talked about elemental influences. We talked about any wounds and lessons that you need to learn. We talked about your identity and your career. There's just so many things that astrology can offer to you in terms of understanding who you are, what's your story, what was happening at the time of your birth, so that you can really begin to love who you are, understand who you are, and really blossom into the beautiful being you are supposed to be. If you would like a personal self-discovery reading through astrology, I will link my website down below. I would be more than happy to talk to you about it, to explore, to build confidence together and help you on this journey of exploration and learning lessons and feeling good about yourself and who you are becoming. So I will link that down below. Let me know if you have any comments, how you're feeling. If you've actually looked into astrology, just let me know. And we're going to continue on this journey of loving who we are. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.